And now, words of wisdom with Adam Carriker.
Adam 316 says that the Oompa Loompas in Willy Wonka are way better than the ones at Chuck Carroll's house.
Uncalled for. Hi there. Welcome to Fourth and Paint. Seriously, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. That bully right there is Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing swell. I'm former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. This here is Fourth and Pain, where you can find us each and every Sunday morning on 1067 The Fan, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. And really, I mean, my God.
Really?
As a guy that resembles something out
Really?
of Where the Wild Things Are, you shouldn't be throwing around any sort of Oompa Loompa reference, you overgrown, gimpy
Loompa,
SOB.
doopity-doo.
You know what? Go doopity-doop yourself over in a corner. This is Fourth and Pain. We have a lot to talk about. I'll get back at you later.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
good
excited.
Lord. But, man alive, we got a lot of good things. We got Goldberg on the show today. We've got Mr. Anderson from TNA on this show.
Mr. Anderson.
But, Adam, before we go any further, let's talk
Anderson.
about the slate of games today, the AFC, the NFC Championship games. I want to start with the NFC Championship game, Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers. We'll get into that later in the show.
Hold on. We're not supposed to give out our predictions yet.
I'm being so bold. I'm going 49ers right out of the gate.
Well, we're not going to announce my predictions or his other prediction for the AFC title game until Goldberg. He let the cat out of the bag a little bit early, but he likes to do things a little bit prematurely. So we're going to talk about this
Wow.
game, the NFC Championship game.
Wow. Yeah, okay, so on that premature note, talk to me. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers, they absolutely dominated the Green Bay Packers last weekend. The Atlanta Falcons seemed like they were on their way to domination over Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks, but then Seattle comes roaring back, almost pulls off an upset a la the Buffalo Bills over the Houston Oilers in the 90s, but then they pull it out on the last-second field goal. Adam, what are your keys to the game? How does Atlanta avoid that trap again?
My keys to the game, I got two keys for the Niners, two keys for the Falcons. To me, the two keys for the Niners are this. They need to pressure Matt Ryan. They got to get pressure and heat on Matty Ice. What he did with 30 seconds left in the game, those two big completions, taking his team 60 yards to get in that field goal range, putting Atlanta on his back and getting that first playoff victory of his career, of Mike Smith's career. I got nothing but respect for that. And the 49ers, they got to force him into mistakes. They got to get pressure on him. The other thing they need to do is, I think the 49ers, they're slightly better. I don't know if they're going to win this game. I will make that prediction later on. But I think they're the slightly better football team, so they need to avoid mistakes, protect the football, avoid penalties. As far as the Falcons go, they just need to play loose. The monkey's off their back. They've got the win.
I'll give you that.
And now they just need to play loose. They just need to do what they need to do. They're the number one seed for a reason. They've got home field advantage for a reason. Just play loose and do what you do. The other thing they need to do, they got to contain the beast that is Colin Kaepernick. I don't know if you can stop him. Just contain that guy. 181 rushing yards, most yards ever in a single game rushed by a quarterback in NFL history. Just contain him.
Yeah, you cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. But here's the most telling stat of all, and this is a layman's statistic, and oftentimes layman's statistics get discounted, but in this case, I don't think that you can overlook it. So far in the postseason, the San Francisco 49ers, granted they played one game, they have the best total overall offense as far as yards per game, putting up 579.
Wow, I did not know that.
Fact, who do you think has the worst defense so far in the postseason?
You wouldn't bring it up unless it was the Falcons, so I'm going to go Falcons.
Exactly.
Really?
Kaepernick is
surprising.
going to run rim shot around these guys.
Ooh.
I really don't think that
I got to rethink my pick before we call Goldberg.
Yeah, it could be a long day for Atlanta, and I don't expect for them to surge out to any sort of early lead like that. I think that they're going to have their hands full. We'll talk about that more in depth when Goldberg is on the show, but things not looking good for Tony Gonzalez to get that second ever playoff win for him, which is a shame. Heck of a player, deserves all of the postseason accolades.
Best tight end ever.
Absolutely.
Tough to find anyone better.
Hands down. But this could be the very bitter end for him today. But let's turn our attention. Let's go up I-95 a little bit. Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots. Keys to the game, please.
To me, I got the Patriots. Joe Flacco gets a lot of flack, shall we say. I think they got to get in his face. I think they got to force him to make mistakes. But here's the other key, because I don't know if that flack is justified. He is great at throwing the deep ball. Look at what he did against the Broncos. 3 touchdown passes of over 50 yards. They got to get in his face, force him to make bad decisions, and they also have to prevent the deep ball. If they make the Ravens get first down after first down after first down, they prevent that deep play, I think they're going to be okay.
You know what? I think that you're going to be okay. I think that there's some room for Flacco to go there. Because, again, you look at these layman statistics. I'm a fan. As I just said, I'm a fan of layman statistics. They are far more telling than people give them credit for. New England Patriots ranked 11th out of every team in the postseason in defending the pass, giving up over 330 yards in the air each game. That, to me, is a telling statistic.
Flacco has plenty of opportunity, is what you're saying.
No doubt, especially with that deep ball. So before you go off and you say, wow, Tom Brady's going to cruise to another Super Bowl, not so fast, my friend. It's going to have to happen on defense if the New England Patriots are going to advance.
I think it's going to be a great game, and I think it's going to be very close. I think the Ravens are going to be emotionally charged to get Ray Lewis to his Super Bowl and get him that championship and end his career the right way. To me, the keys to the game for the Ravens, they got to run the ball. They've got Ray Rice, one of the best running backs in the NFL. You run the ball, that's going to open up that deep play action pass, what they were able to do against the Broncos. And also, they need to force that. They're kind of. It seems like they're in Brady's head. They're the one team that he seems to struggle with a little bit. I mean, the great Tom Brady, the awesome quarterback that he is, force him into turnovers. The more turnovers they're forced, the better opportunity and better chance to win the game they'll have.
And we'll find out. The games kick off this afternoon at 3 o'clock, starting with the NFC Championship.
And now we're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to do something we do each and every week. We're going to do the Peyton Pulse. We're going to be joined by my lovely wife, Mrs. Carriker, who just joined Twitter at Ange Carriker, A-N-G Carriker. How are you doing, sweetie?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I'm doing wonderfully, but before we get to the Peyton Pulse, I got to ask you, how are things on the Twitterverse going for you? I understand that you already have hundreds of followers, and it's only been a matter of days.
I know. I think I actually have some people that are jealous that I have so many followers already.
Well, you know, you get any more, and I'm actually going to be the jealous one because I can't have the Fourth and Pain account outdoing the Chuck Carroll, and I certainly, you know, Ange Carriker has been on there for all of a week, and she's already hot on my tail. So
we're going to start one for our dog Rambo, and he's going to have more followers than you, Chuck. How do you feel about that?
This is just unfair. This is just I can't get on board that. I can't get on board that.
I can.
The Peyton Pulse this week. What is the topic du jour, my man?
Well, the topic today, a lot of people have been debating and talking. You know, Peyton Manning did a great job this year getting the Broncos the #1 seed, and they ended up losing in their first playoff game. And last year, Tim Tebow took over the Broncos when they were 1-4. Won in 11 games was 7-4 with them, got them into the playoffs, AFC West title game. They won a playoff game against the Steelers, and then they ended up losing against the Patriots. So the debate is this: Peyton Manning or Tim Tebow? Who had the better season in their respective years with the Broncos?
Wow, that is a good question. And you are the expert on Peyton. Where do you fall on this equation?
What do you think, sweetie?
First of all, I think Peyton flatlining this weekend, so I don't know that we can call it Peyton Pulse anymore.
Are we going to have to drop that title? What are we going to call it?
The Pulse.
The Pulse?
The Pulse.
What are we going to talk about? Anything?
Anything. Let's open it up.
Okay, we'll start next week, The Pulse, and we'll talk about anything. But back to this week. Who did the better job, Tim Tebow or Peyton Manning?
I would say Peyton Manning. Getting the #1 seed in the overall AFC is quite an accomplishment. I don't think people realize how hard that actually is to just win your division and then actually get the #1 seed. So I would go with Peyton over Tebow.
What about yourself, Chuck?
Well, you know, I kind of look at this, and it's a situation that mirrored what happened here in Washington with Robert Griffin III. The Redskins rattled off 7 wins in a row to get into the postseason, only to lose that first game in the playoffs. Manning and the Broncos, they rattled off 10 wins in a row. People aren't really talking about that, at least here in D.C. We were so hyper-focused on RG3. But they rattle off 10 wins in a row. They get that first-round bye, and then they still come out and they lose to the Baltimore Ravens. I question how much of this game still had to do with Ray Lewis's emotional impact. But the better of the two quarterbacks, the more impactful season to me, I'm going to have to go with Tim Tebow.
Now, that makes no sense because you just a week ago, You did not know I was going to do this. So you just a week ago said Tim Tebow should not get a shot. You, in fact, said he should be a tight end, and now you're saying he's a better quarterback than Peyton Manning. Explain yourself.
It wasn't a week ago. It was earlier this week on
earlier this
4thandpaint.com
week.
that I
I'm
said
sorry.
this. But here's the thing. I'm just looking at the majesty of it all. I'm looking at the magic behind it and what Tim Tebow was able to do in the style that he did it. Tebow time. Have we forgotten that phrase this year because we haven't seen it in New York? I'm not saying that he's the better quarterback, but he had the more magical season. And to me, that's why I'm giving the nod to Tim Tebow.
So are you saying that a guy that you have proclaimed should now be a tight end
damn straight
is a better quarterback than Peyton Manning?
I didn't say that he's a better quarterback. I just said that he
had a better
more
season than Peyton Manning. The best regular season quarterback of all time was outdone by a tight end. That's what you're saying. Your own words.
I didn't say he's
you don't
the
like
better
this.
quarterback.
You don't like this at all.
Magical.
Foot and mouth.
Magical.
By
this
Chuck.
is no foot and mouth. I'm
Both
looking
feet.
at 2 seasons. Which was the more fun to watch? To me,
if he had such a great season, then why can't he be a quarterback? If he had such a great season, why can't he be a quarterback?
Because he sucks.
Angie, did he stick his foot in his mouth? Please settle this debate and just say I'm right.
Yes. You're right, honey. You're always right.
Oh, this sarcasm.
Hashtag biasty at Ange Carriker. Here's the thing. Tim Tebow, magic, got it done.
Then why can't he still be a quarterback? Explain yourself.
Because
you have 30
he
seconds.
lost his magic. Rex Ryan,
It just evaporated.
Mike Tannenbaum, they took away his mojo.
It just
in New York.
evaporated.
Absolutely. You're never going to get me to agree with you.
You're going to lose followers.
That he should be an
and that
NFL
Ange
quarterback.
Carriker is going to gain more. But you just said he had a better season than Peyton Manning.
I didn't say he. I said the more magical season. If you're going by the numbers, I'm not saying that the first 3 quarters of Tim Tebow's 2011 season were anything special. They sucked. He was every bit as Tim Tebow. But something happened in that 4th quarter, that magic, that Tebow time. I'm just saying that's where I'm basing
it's just gone
this
1
off
year
of.
later.
What?
It's just gone.
Gone.
Could you open your mouth? I want to see what size your shoe is.
It's gone. The magical kingdom has closed down for good as far as Tim Tebow is concerned.
All right. Well, we're out of time. And Chuck's, well, frankly, he's got a mouthful of shoelace. So give at Ange, A-N-G, at Ange Carriker a follow.
Give her a follow on Twitter, and on the other side, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more about football, a lot more wrestling here on 4th and Pain, and hopefully I can remove myself from this horrible foot and mouth disease. This is 4th and Pain.